Hello twin flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. Today we'll do a divine masculine check-in, so we'll see what's happening with your DM right now. The questions I will be asking will be, what have they recently discovered on the journey, i.e. what do we celebrate, right? What to be grateful for. Second question will be, what are they struggling with right now as we're doing this reading. And the third one is going to be what action they're taking in 3D at this time. Of course, we'll start with an oracle deck, and towards the end I will pull some messages from divine masculines to divine feminines who are watching this video. Hopefully you guys are having a great start of your week. Remember, actually this is a timeless message, but if you're catching it as I've recorded it and published it, this is the start of the week for many of us. And yeah, hopefully you set yourself up for a productive week. Your weekend was nice, you took your time to dedicate to yourself and your loved ones, do something fun, take rest, and you are ready to conquer the world as a true light worker. Speaking of which, as promised, I decided to continue doing my videos on mindfulness. I post them on my other channel, Mindful Bamboo. So the video that I prepared yesterday was, and I'm publishing it today, is about connecting to nature, because we hear it a lot of times. I mention it from time to time, okay, connect to nature. It's beneficial to connect to nature this time, go in nature, but the question remains, when I'm finally in the nature, I've created that environment, what do I do then? Right? And there are actually a lot of aspects to consider. It's kind of like Connect to Nature 101. I don't go too deep into any specific practices or habits or activities, but I give you some good ideas on how to use the time that you spend in nature as a mindfulness tool. So I'll give a link to that video in the comments, and feel free to check it out at your convenience. I also put some headlines on the video with some of the tips I'm giving, so you can kind of see, if it's not super clear, you can also see the heading of what the practice is. And I will also be posting like a parallel article on my blog on the same topic. So it's not gonna be 100% the same, but it will be very close, and I'm doing it so that no matter what means of receiving information works better for you guys, you are able to receive that information. For some people it's easier to read, so I will be doing like both of those things, so that you know, whether you're like listening while driving, or it's actually easier for you to read, maybe you're not a native speaker and it's harder to capture everything. There's also, because I've recorded the video outside, you know, in nature, and it was pretty windy actually, so you know, sometimes it's not as easy to catch all the words, so that's when the article comes in handy. Okay, and if I have any useful resources to share, like for example, I was talking about forest bathing, maybe some other things, then I will be posting them in the article, of course. Okay, let's get started. For the oracle deck, I picked the Enchanted Map oracle. Haven't used it for a while and I missed it a little bit, and also the artwork kind of speaks to me as a bit more of a masculine vibe, so I thought it's a good fit for this reading. So first of all, let's get an oracle card to see kind of the general picture, to set the setting of what's happening with the masculine energy right now. Okay, we have number 37, cleaning house. I actually love this so much. Since I'm only pulling one card, I'll read it from the book too, not to miss anything. I mean, of course, it's about cleansing. It's actually one of the ways that connection to nature is good for you, and I guess maybe that's why I was guided to do that video at this time. Basically, it says it's time to clear the clutter to make way for better things. And it means, or it can mean both it can mean it both literally and figuratively, and it works both ways. So whatever is more in your focus right now, divine masculine's watching, whatever resonates more, whether it's about your physical space and decluttering and making space for something else, even if you don't know what that new something is, or it may be emotionally releasing some burdens. It could be mentally, in terms of like being overwhelmed with a lot of things going on, right? Maybe putting some structure to it and setting some things aside, not to get to the point where you aren't actually achieving any of those things that you have on your list because of how scattered your energy is. Of course, it can be about relationships as well, because some people can create that clutter in your life with their energy. When you see the cleaning house card in the reading, it's time to declutter your life. Get rid of unwanted things in your physical home and release what you no longer want or truly need. Is there any unfinished business you should address? Thoughts, memories, and emotional baggage must be swept out of your house as well. Your conscience must be clear for you to move freely in the world. Celebrate the spring cleaning and feel the freedom as you make way for much better things. Look at what you've resisted discarding and be honest about its value. Be honest. Clean house. Spring cleaning in the fall. Why not? My personal opinion, we need more than one spring cleaning a year. Feel the freedom as you make way for much better things. And yeah, I mean, it may sound a little harsh in terms of resisting discarding something, but it happens to all of us one way or another. And by the way, number 37 makes up for 10, so that's end of a cycle. It's cleansing energy, right? We're still, and I was talking about it in the last couple of readings, that we're still experiencing certain vibe from the full moon where we're supposed to release and to get rid of things that are no longer needed. So this is that vibe for like, it's like a kind reminder for you, right? It's like time is running out, like in the cycle, to make space for something new, to get rid of unwanted stuff. So, you know, what do Germans say? Ziegel, right? It's time to go, time to do something, right? It's time. Okay, anyways, let's get to the tarot now. Yeah, let's see, and I'm gonna pull some clarifiers with after tarot. Let's see what divine masculines have actually achieved that is something to celebrate, to be appreciative of. Whether you're a divine masculine watching, it might be useful for you to see maybe some things that you didn't appreciate as much, didn't notice as much, or it was hard for you to kind of word it consciously of what it was that you achieved. And yeah, for feminines, we can cheer and support our masculines in the hard work that they're doing on this journey. So what have they discovered recently? What has been their big insight recently, in the recent past? Maybe that they're still under impression of and still working through it. Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune and Eight of Cups. Yeah, I was just talking about walking away and releasing things, right? This is exactly that, and divine timing is helping release it. It's almost like a Tower card without saying Tower card, because it's combining working away from things and divine timing. It means that, you know, when the divine timing comes, it's inevitable. You are going to be walking away. It's not an option. Okay, and maybe it's something that you're walking away from right now, or maybe there is some resistance. We'll pull some clarifiers. Okay, let's see what we have for what are DMs struggling with. Fulfillment. It's a 10 of Cups. Struggling with emotional fulfillment. Okay. And what action are divine masculines taking at this time? Ten of Pentacles, and the Hermit. Okay, Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So this is you, divine feminine, watching. You are on their heart, on their mind. They understand that you've pulled your energy away, and they even understand that there is a good reason for that. So I'm getting they don't have any hard feelings about it. They kind of accept that this is that kind of time, that like each of you have stuff to figure out and to do in your own story, and they wish that it could have been bigger and brighter what you have together, but it's like one day at a time. I'm getting this message in my head, you know, like in the 12-step program, we are doing this one day at a time, and they know that it's going to come eventually. They're looking forward to it, but they understand that they cannot skip steps, and they're getting closer to it one day at a time. Okay, let's get some clarifiers from After Tarot. Please clarify Eight of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune for the success that Divine Masculine has made. It's interesting that there's actually a masculine figure in the Eight of Cups in this deck. It's not always masculine. Queen of Cups. Another confirmation of Divine Feminine in the picture. It kind of flipped to the as an upside down card, so I'm gonna take it that way. Please clarify Ten of Cups for the challenge. King of Wands and Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Please clarify Ten of Pentacles and the Hermit card for the action. It's interesting when the Hermit card falls out with the action, because it's not really about it. There you go, the Tower card. It's there. But this is already, like you see, this is the After Tarot. So this is like it's basically in ruins already. Like there's no way to save it. And there's no point in calling the firefighters. It's gone. Gone. But it's set in the scene for the action that the masculine taken as a result of it. So it makes total sense that we have the setup for the Tower card in the recent past. And now we have the sort of like what kind of action comes out as a result of that falling out of grace I'm getting here. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords. Yeah, some sort of truth comes out right now at this time. It's almost like I'm feeling like it's not even a momentous truth. It's coming in layers, in messages, so that Divine Masculines get those messages from time to time, like around the same event, whatever the Tower moment was. But they are seeing new and new aspects of it, new shades of it as the days pass. Maybe weeks for some I'm getting, but it's still fairly fresh. Okay, so the recent past, we have the celebration, we have walking away from something unwanted, something burdensome, cleaning house basically, right? Because they didn't feel the love in the situation. And it's actually, I mean, we have cups here. We have actually, well, yeah, we have cups in the struggle as well. So I'm getting there is a lot of connection to the emotional balance and to feelings at this time. And in that case, if something doesn't feel good and feels like there's no love in that situation, that it totally makes sense to leave it behind. Especially for us, for twin flames. It is a good advice for anyone, but for us it's especially important. Whenever we are put in a situation that doesn't have any love, any kindness, any compassion in it, it's there as a lesson to teach us something, and it's not there to stay. Because what happens is that one way or another we're gonna be draining our energy by staying there. Somebody will be taking advantage of us one way or another. And even if we'll try to do our best to like build a wall between us and that other person to keep our energy safe, we're not gonna be in a good place, because it's hard for us, like it's not healthy for us to keep a wall. It's also very difficult to be able to switch it on and off, depending on the situation or a person. And I've done it myself a lot of times. It's one of the ways I used to balance how I was, who I was, the corporate environment at work and outside of work. It's a confirmation that, yeah, it's the truth. It's the moment of truth. Because my profession has always been, either a teacher or a manager. Like I've been a boss, and I had to be pretty strict, pretty tough, and I didn't want to bring that into my personal life. So I was really trying to, for a while I thought there was I'll be good at separating work from life. Yeah, at work I'm this kind of person, at home I'm this kind of person. But it doesn't really work like that. You're one holistic person, right? Unless you have some mental problems. But that's a different story for another day. Generally speaking, you can't just, it's like ultimately you're either wearing a mask in one of those situations, or you're punishing yourself. You're, I'm thinking of an English saying for this situation. Like you are basically shutting yourself down. You're not showing your authentic self. Whichever profile is really authentic for you, one or another one. So either like whatever those artificial workarounds are, they don't work for very long. And that's what divine masculines have discovered recently. The divine timing came when they realized they cannot stay in this situation like that. They need to walk away. Change it or walk away. It's this realization, it's this intent. Doesn't mean they walked away already. But because there was no love here, they realized they could actually feel it in their body, that they cannot take it anymore. Like sometimes when you have certain pain in your body that's like unbearable, that's when you're really suffering. It felt like that. And they could tell that that's why. No other reason, just this. What is the success? I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. What is the struggle in the present? It was emotional fulfillment, because they've been in that situation where they haven't seen the love. That's what they're struggling with now. That's what they're aiming for. Divine masculines want this emotional fulfillment. And the trick to it is, and the hard part is, to find it on their own. This is a single person card. This is about being wholesome and worthy on your own. Being able to find happiness on your own. As this King of Wands figure, right? The true divine masculine vibe was like a flame vibe. A strong, wise ruler. But I'm getting at there are several storylines here. Some divine masculines, it's very hard to do that on their own, because they had this construct in their mind that emotional fulfillment comes from being with someone who loves you, right? A romantic partner, being a couple. And it cannot happen if you're by yourself. So that's the construct they've had, and it needs to break. That's the challenge, to rethink it completely. For others, it's just been hard because you haven't really felt like this in the circumstances that you've been. It's almost like some divine masculines didn't really have time or energy to even look this way, to think about this stuff. What do I need? What makes me happy? For others, it's just there was always some noise and some distraction around. So right now it's kind of like some healing is needed. That's what I'm getting, one thing. And also just some time to reprogram yourself to this new concept where you can and should actually be happy by yourself first before you're finding that special someone. It's not like you're making me complete and I'm only happy when I'm with you. No, I'm happy with who I am by myself, doing what I love, and then I'm ready to share it with you, and hope you can do the same for me. Then finally we have the action that divine masculines have taken. And like I was saying, it's interesting when the Hermit card comes out with action, because it's non-action. So this Tower moment, which happened in the recent past, actually struck divine masculine pretty hard. That's why on the one hand they're not ready to take a big action. They it's kind of like this painful moment is making them go to their heart center, and that's why they have you, divine feminine, on their mind. And in this deck, the Hermit is actually holding a flame, and it's supposed to be the, you know, the symbol of a twin flame. So they're cherishing this connection, they're noticing its strength and its importance for themselves. But they're not ready really to take an action outside, either about the connection just in general, because like towards emotional fulfillment, because it was such a big shock that it takes time to kind of analyze. You know, Hermit is about secluding yourself and taking time for yourself, being by yourself. So they need that time by themselves to heal and to get their mind around everything that happened, and you know, their mindset around those topics. Most likely around relationships. That's what I'm getting very strong. It doesn't have to be, but most likely. It could be about work, for example. It could be about some sort of creative project, but whatever was, whatever had a connection with their emotional fulfillment. But I'm getting strongly that it was about relationship. And what they want to focus on is towards their well-being, towards being financially independent, so that they can provide for whenever the time comes and they have their special someone. And money, I'm hearing, shouldn't be an issue at all. Like, they don't want money to be a reason for argument or some misunderstandings or quarrels or competition, like who makes more money, all that kind of stuff. They just want to have a comfortable life, and they're looking for ways now to get there. Okay, I'm gonna finish with some messages from divine masculines to divine feminines. It's classic, of course, for divine masculine when they are going through emotional distress, to kind of externally they're kind of switching their focus to work. It's like a default focus. I don't want to say it's the comfort zone, but kind of like that, if it makes it easier to understand. You know, when like a lot of things seem unstable in the world and so much is happening, just in general, actually globally in the world, right? And what it looks like in Diane's life as well, then that stays more or less stable. And if that's the case, then that's what they're focusing on, because that's like the anchor of stability for them. Okay, we have, I may act strong, but I'm not. I was in denial of this connection. Like I said, the Tower moment is heartbreaking for them, but it's also getting them to appreciate the connection, the twin flame connection more, the connection with their divine feminine. And not just consciously, at the level of feelings and emotions, so they can actually feel it, feel the difference, feel the contrast. I love you, I just don't say it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I hope this has been useful for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you all, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon.